Dr. Jerry Yarborough, physical therapist with Physical Therapy and Balance Centers in Ruston and Jonesboro, Louisiana. I've been doing physical therapy for 23 years. My first clinic we opened 16 years ago, and the second clinic we opened 4 years ago. Well, before we joined Killer Marketing, that was just, I had just opened my second clinic about 6 months prior to that. It was taking off okay, but it was really slow. Our annual revenue, I think for the end of 2014 was like $325,000. And by the end of last year, 3 years into it, we did 1.25 million. I was going to say, I just attribute, a large part of that to BPTM. Of course, there's other things that are going on, but without BPTM, without a doubt, we wouldn't be where we are today. Some of the struggles that we were facing at that time was lack of patience. So income, being in a bigger town, new clinic with about 6 other PT clinics in town. The rent is astronomical here, and we wasn't making it. And, I was looking at, if we're going to make it through the year, looking at the numbers, it's like, well, I really, began to kind of feel like a failure. I've been doing this 19 years at that time, and it's like, man, I worked all these years and I can't make this clinic work. I didn't know what else to do. As a private practice owner, you're just out there all alone. I've always been an APTA member and supporter of the private practice section, but there was just no real help. I was just searching, for anything to give me guidance, because, I do physical therapy. I'm not a marketer. I'm not a businessman. I needed some guidance and help. I just didn't know what to do. I saw Chad's advertisements, and either through the mail, email, or his book, and all of it just made sense. He's a PT. There's other programs out there that I looked at, but there wasn't PTs. It wasn't in my shoes. So I'm like, that's great. That works for them, but they're not in my shoes. They don't know what it's like to be a private practice PT. So whenever I saw Chad, that was really appealing to me, that, he knew, and he was successful. So he knew what I needed to know how to make my practice grow. And to me, that was really the only hope out there. I bought into the National Franchise Physical. We're now part of that, and, we're pleased with that too. I had hired marketers. I'd hired a number of different marketers that didn't know what they were doing. They had never worked in PT, so they'd work a few months and they wouldn't generate anything for me, so I'd have to let them go because I couldn't afford to pay them anymore. And that was kind of a cycle we went through, over a couple of years, about 3 different marketers, and the same thing. They just did not generate the patients that we needed. BPTM entered the picture about 6 months into the new clinic opening. My other clinic had been opened at that time 12 years, and this one had only been open 6 months. Well, that first year, I think we grew something like 47%. So, it was pretty immediate. We are relying less and less on physicians and getting a more steady flow of patients by doing that. And our clinic, this year, our goal is 1.75 million, and we're on our way of doing that. It's kind of amazing, I remember hearing other people's stories of where they were, in the beginning and where they are now. And I always just felt like, dang, that sure would be nice, But You know, didn't ever really think that that could happen to me. And I mean, we're far from where we want to be. Don't get me wrong, we're very far from where we're going to be. But man, it's pretty amazing to be where we are compared to where we were just a few years ago. It's just logical of, you know, with Chad being a PT. I mean, he did it and he's just teaching us what to do. He's already done it, he's already tested it. Just follow what he says and it will happen. Jump. Quit wasting your time. And I do tell people all the time about BPTM. I mentioned, you know, physical therapy and balance centers, and I tell our corporate guys all the time, hey, you know, BPTM, they know what they're doing. We got to learn from them. Let's see if we can work with them. They know what they're doing, and it will help us all.